I agree with Martin on that, by the way. I think we all want to see China succeed. I hope we all want to see India succeed, and for comparable reasons. You don't want to see these big countries failing their people and thereby failing the world, because instability will be chaotic. But my argument, going back to the very first question, that video they asked, is why can't the two countries cooperate much more? I would like to see that blessed border issue settled, because it's an unnecessary irritant.
Now that she has consolidated more power, do you see that? Do you see the prospects of that happening? Improving now?
I think it can. I mean, it would require some new thinking on both sides. The Indian government surprised many when it announced last year during Prime Minister Modi's visit to China that it would now lift the existing political restrictions on Chinese investment. There were certain sensitive sectors of a strategic nature where Chinese investment was barred, ports, telecoms, and so on. And the government has opened up and said, come in, no problem. China hasn't yet taken them significantly. There are no major new projects announced. But if that happens, that could give China an important stake in the Indian economy. And of course, both countries are stake in each other's well-being. But secondly, I mean, we were just talking off stage, as it were, about this string of pearls theory and so on. I've been quite unwilling to be seduced by any arguments of some fundamental Chinese desire to strangulate India. First of all, like that old line in World War II about the chicken's neck, and the guy said, some chicken, some neck. The Indian neck is not going to be strangled so easily by Chinese pearls scattered across the Indian Ocean, I assure you. But I don't think the Chinese believe they can do it or want to do it. And if you look, for example, at the Indian Ocean specifically, we actually have completely compatible interests. We both want to see the sea lanes of communication open in both directions, from the Gulf and East Africa to India and on past us through the Straits and into China and the South China Sea, and of course in reverse. That flow of traffic helps India, India's growth, Indian goods, Indian oil security, energy security, the works, and it helps China too. Why would it be in China's interest to interdict shipping in the Arabian Sea? It would actually hurt China. And the same with India. So I don't see why we can't say, I would have liked to see, for example, joint patrols against Somali pirates. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the Indian and Chinese navies, instead of doing war games or exercises, worrying about each other, attacking each other, could actually cooperate in a shared interest? I think we now need to start thinking out of the box in both countries. Cooperation is possible. On global issues, we have comparable stakes in the preservation of the global commons. India has been ahead of China in its active involvement in the UN and multilateral institutions. China is catching up very well. And I think there's a lot that they can do together without necessarily seeing a competition. India supported China on the realignment of the Bretton Woods weighted voting numbers. We felt it was absurd that China should have the same weighted vote as Belgium. You know, this is something we are willing to make common cause with China on. Equally, it seems to me that we can't make common cause on something like cybersecurity. China is still a communist system with a top-down system. Ours is a democracy. We believe in a multi-stakeholder internet. So we're not going to be agreeing on every issue, but there are common issues on which we can cooperate. And I don't believe that this needs to be a conflict or a competition.
Okay, fair enough. Let's open it up to the floor. Questions, anybody? Just raise your hands. The microphone will come to you. Just please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and where you're from or who you represent. There's got to be at least a couple. Come on, don't be shy.
You're doing such a good job with the questions. I want to give it to you.
Hardly. Come on, let's have some fun. No questions? I don't believe it. Not even one? All you have to do is, this is how people used to interact, you know, pre-internet. If anybody remembers. Anyway, okay, I tell you what. We do actually have a lot of questions coming in on this iPad here, so let's get to at least some of them.
This question is for Dr. Shashi. Sir, what is your assessment of Mr. Modi's government so far?
Do you mean in relation to China or in relation to...
in general.
Okay, well, it's probably beside the point here, but I mean, very simply, I think Mr. Modi has delivered a series of very impressive speeches, but they haven't been accompanied by sufficiently credible action on the ground. And in other words, there's a good diagnosis of what ails India and a lot of energy behind depicting that. We still need to see transformational actions by the government that would put India on the right path. Despite that, India is the largest, fastest growing major economy in the world. So the fundamentals are there. But the things the government can do to make that much better and improve it that the government hasn't yet done.
Okay.